Animal Crossing, a game widely loved by normies and neurodivergents alike, as well as our Lord and Savior throughout the times of us staying home like hobgoblins. For me, this game was a huge inspiration for my creativity, as well as my art style in general. Want to know another huge inspiration of my art style? Boom! Danganronpa, a popular visual novel series with 2 anime adaptations that has recently crawled out of the bowels of the 2010s hell to grace us in the 2020s with its presence. Yeah, I decided to combine these 2 drastically different concepts together to make a nice little intro to myself, my art, and to kick off my channel with a nice little bang. Before we get started with this speed paints, let's go over a few of the guidelines for this little mini art series. For starters, I will not be covering every single character from each game, manga adaptation, anime, etc., due to the amount of stigma that comes with some of the characters and the variety. So I will only choose a select few from each of the 3 games and 3 of the new characters that were made for Danganronpa 3, the anime, based on my preference, their designs, etc., or any reasons I'll give in the future. Second thing to note is that I will be making Danganronpa Amiibo cards with the Danganronpa character and the villager they share a birthday with. If a character shares a birthday with more than one villager, then I will simply pick the villager that I think the character fits best. And with more than one character in the Danganronpa series shares a birthday, then I will be picking only one of the 2 to draw, simple as that. For example, Chiaki and Chihiro share a similar birthday, so I'll only be picking one of the 2 to draw. And finally, if any character doesn't share with a birthday with any villagers or NPCs, I will simply just pick the villager whose birthday is closest to them and note the different birthdays on their card. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's get started with the characters I chose to do for the first game series, and for this video, Trigger Happy Havoc. Alright, first up to the bat, we have our main protagonist, of course, Makoto Naegi. For his design, I wanted something very simple, but I didn't want to have to go by the book with the sprite. So of course I decided to take the bits and pieces from his sprite and make a casual outfit for him. As for the pose, I wanted something more casual, but still giving off that nervous energy I got of Makoto when I played Trigger Happy Havoc. The villager he got was Lily, which was this little green frog girl. Which makes sense, wholesome qualities in both characters. Whenever I pick poses, I usually find like custom stamp sets, or I find like models and references of photos, photography, or even something as simple as like poses I find on Pinterest. Which is usually how I go about picking poses for characters, since my anatomy is as bad as a pile of rocks, you may say. So for Makoto, I found this lovely stamp of him doing this very lax walking position. As for the outfit I customized for him, I took that nice little 3-way jacket set he's rocking in his casual sprites from Trigger Happy Havoc and turned it into a lovely little sleeveless hoodie that I am far too proud of for some ungodly reason. As well as some matching little sweatbands, little jeans, and of course the cutest little Deku kicks I could find on the block. I tried to do this card before at the beginning of the year. I've been planning this video for quite a bit, but I still didn't have any good proportions down. I've gotten a little bit better since then, so I was able to tweak the body figure to be more teenager, and of course went with that. I also learned how to draw frogs better in my style, so Lily got a nice little upgrade too with the smuggest little frog face I could try to get from multiple stock photos I could find of people trying to draw frogs, and I always saw this kind of mouth, so went with it. I tweaked the dress I did for her too. I know she has this like geo print like tank top whenever I find her amiibo cards or her designs, and I hate it. I hate drawing geo on clothing, so we're just gonna not do that, and of course ended off with a nice simple dress. Alright, here we have Makoto and Lily. Next up is Kyoko Kirigiri, of course Makoto's canonical love interest. For her, I wanted a more sassier pose, because I always got that sassier vibe with her character in both Trigger Happy Havoc, Danganronpa 3 the anime, and of course through Danganronpa S, which I recently played through to get more personality tips on these characters. For Kyoko, I wanted something more like hint of sass, a little bit of police kind of thing, because I usually see detectives working with the police, as they should. So I went with like the whole flashing the badge thing with the character. Of course, I had to go through with the eye shapes. I usually keep a little chart that I found on Pinterest that really helps me get those basic shapes down and bumped up her proportions better. I saw her with a thicker build from what I could tell from the sprite, so I went off of that. more in the hips than in the chest. And of course, the hair, the ungodly hair that I had to pull with her, which the braid was the best part in my opinion. And then her outfit, I simply kept it as the sprite. As for the villager she got, Tex, I didn't really like his Letterman jacket when I put these two together, so I changed it to the outfit he has on his poster when you scan his card in, or you scan him in through the campsite, which has him in this beautiful leather jacket, like straight up, headstrong, boom, fabulous. The colors went along really well with Kirigiri's too, and of course I added purple accents and shading to really pump up the purple and violets. Overall, I think these two are one of my better ones for Trigger Happy Havoc, probably because they were done later on. But yeah, here we go with Kyoko Kirigiri and Tex. Next is Toko Fukawa, my personal favorite girl when it comes to Trigger Happy Havoc. Of course, I wanted a more nervous style position for her, like her hugging her shoulders and looking off bashfully, because shy. So I took the nice little thing I saw in some of the poses I was looking at, matched those two up together, and gave a really stoic, shy position for her to really accent her character. Of course, with Toko, I had to keep her outfit for Trigger Happy Havoc. I was really hard debating on picking her outfit for UDG, which is just the torn-up version, but I decided to go against that for a more cleaner look. And I also really wanted to do the hair for UDG, but then I was like, no, that's really more Show's territory, so I'm just going to keep it with Toko. I did also decide not to put Show in this card or give Show a variant, but honestly, I would have no space to put them, so I just put Toko instead since Toko is the one in charge. For the villager she got Bonbon, which is a really good fit, not alone with the color schemes, but also with the personalities. Bonbon, from what I could tell from what I was reading about her, she's a very big bookworm normal bunny girl, which really would be the best of friends with Toko in general. So of course I was super excited when these two got paired together. I kept the outfits very similar with the more reserved kind of types to it, but I made Bonbon's pose a little bit more extroverted to be more the, yeah, I'm the positive go-getter, I'm gonna be your extroverted best friend and get you out more, that kind of deal. So for Bonbon and Toko, I really hammered that in with the whole positive best friend with the shy best friend dynamic, while also fixing up those purple colors and really bumping it up with the more purple-bluer tones with these two. And with that out of the way, we have Toko Fukawa and Bonbon. Next up to bat is Yasuhiro Hagakure, my second favorite character in Trigger Happy Havoc. For him, I always knew him as the laid-back stoner guy who you could totally smoke pot with in the back of the college dorms. So I tried to give those vibes in a similar fashion. I wanted very lax, very casual, very nice, cooler, nicer posing, as well as the more laid-back kind of look to the face. So basically just Yasuhiro had a nice baby with Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo, and that's how I went with the style. As for the style, I still wanted him to be more extroverted in the pose, so he's like greeting his homeboy, Makoto, in this pose with a nice Casanovic wink for the ladies. And my personal favorite part of designing him was doing the afro. I also debated on doing the ponytail he's rocking in VR3, the anime, but I decided to go against it because I think the afro just fits his personality better. Also, I just love drawing it too. The style they do it in the sprites is really, really fun and really easy, and I might take that onward whenever I do draw characters with afros. As for the clothing, I wanted something kind of similar to his design in Trigger Happy Havoc, so I noticed all the layers he was rocking, and I was like, no. So I took off two of the jackets that my guy is wearing and just went straight on with the yellow undershirt, the nice little thing he's rocking with the shirt, like the belt thing. I don't know exactly what it was. I'm not as cultured as I say I am. And the nice big puffy pants and sandals while adding some socks. Instead of having nothing there with the layers, I instead put some beads, like jade beads. Because whenever I think of clairvoyance, I somehow think of them. So I gave him his beads and walked away from it. As for the villager that he got a birthday with, Eric, I was super pumped to get to him. I adore drawing reindeer or deer in general. My D&D character is literally a type of like deer person. So whenever I found Eric and I knew that he was stuck with the stoner, I was so pumped. These two would be best friends. I saw them both wearing like the big puffy or casual stuff. And when I saw that my homeboy here was rocking a sweater, you bet your bottom dollar I kept that. And I also definitely did not keep the geometric pattern that was on that sweater. I instead took the colors from it, blocked it out, called it a day, made it much baggier. So with all of that out of the way, one of my favorite cards I did in this entire series, you have Yasuhiro Hagakure and Eric. Next up to bat is Celestia Ludenberg. Oh my good golly gosh. This girl had the best pose I could find, and I love it, and I love this card, but I hate her character so much. Not because of what she tried to pull during her trial. No. That's fine. Of course, she's supposed to be a rich bitch. Of course, rich bitch. But it's just her design. I don't like how pale she looks in particular. Like, my girl's got no melanin, or she's rocking so much makeup that she put Catherine of Aragon to shame. Not the one from 6, the original one, who was whiter than a saltine caraca. But, oh no, I really wanted to enhance that smugness to her. So for the pose, I went with the whole holding cards thing, because gambler. The whole smug personality, and like the curtsy, because gambler. And also because rich bitch. As for the outfit, I kept it the same, like the exact same as her sprites, but dumbed it down a bit because baby can't draw those lace and frills yet. So I dumbed it down to its most basic bones parts, while still keeping the gothic style as well as the colors. This is the first time I ever drew a character with twindrels, and it's honestly like the best thing ever. I love how I did these, and I love how they look in this. So yeah, I might draw more twindrel characters, thanks to her. Thanks! So as for her design, I just kept it as simple as possible. I didn't really want to go oingo boinger on her. So I have the basic design for her out of the way. As for the villager she got, I am happy to say that it is Nox. I barely knew about this villager. I had him in my New Leaf town for a hot minute, and then he just up and dipped. But from when he was there, yeah, that's Celeste. These two would be best friends. I could also see him being a raging simp for her. Like, my homeboy would be following her around, writing her love letters and kissing her feet everywhere she goes in her little town. Makes sense. These two would be best friends. More of a whole subservient kind of deal, but still friends to some degree. He'd be high up on her little list that she carries. So for Nox, I kept the whole thing he's rocking here with his card design. You know, the knight's armor kind of thing. That's perfect. Matches Celeste's whole aesthetic. As for the pose, I wanted him to sing her praises to the high heavens. How much he loves this little girl so much, even though she's a spoiled brat, and puts Veruca Salt to shame. But now, of course, the richest bitch on the block is done. Celestia Ludenberg and her knight Nox. Next up to bat is the one that I know for sure everyone's gonna hate me for doing. Of course, I had to tackle Hifumi Yamada. I agree with you people. He is awful. He's a creep, he is a pervert, and the way he's looking at Celeste is a little too for my liking. The only reason I chose to tackle him was because of his awful design. Okay, I like Danganronpa as much as the next weirdo down the street, but there is one thing that has always angered me about this series, and it's how they design fat characters or plus-size characters. It's not just him either. Teru irks me. I love him. He's my favorite character. We'll get to him. But for Hifumi Yamada, his design has got to be the worst one. He has the worst Danganronpa design entirely. It's awful. I hate it. How are you walking on those little toothpicks, you fat ball? So I immediately fixed his proportions. Like, that was the first thing I did. I made him thickums. I gave him them dummy thick thighs that will definitely not be saving lives. And of course, I kept the outfit the same, while also notably realizing later in editing that I got the colors wrong. And of course, giving him his signature little piece of, literature to read. And I really didn't want to draw the eye shapes he was rocking, so I took the idea from the sprites where his glasses just do the little thing where they have the, like, glint that covers his eyes and walked away. As well as the hair. I don't like his hair. There was a lot of things I just did not like about his design, and when I showed it to my boyfriend, he's like, oh my god, you just turned him into Peter Griffin. So yeah, let's just call it that. The character he got to share a birthday with is Marcel. I don't like Marcel. So hey, these two will be great together. This is just the card I all around don't like because of the characters that are on it. Marcel, I can understand why people like him. Hifumi, I really don't, but that's just me. For Marcel, I just tweaked it, basic shapes, blocked out the dog, kept his shirt the same, the little Asian print he's rocking, love that shirt, fixed the facial features to make it more cutesy and not as much nightmare fuel, walked it away, and there we go. So here we go with Hifumi Yamada and Marcel. Alright, now we get to my favorite Danganronpa character in Trigger Happy Havoc, Kiyotaka Ishimaru. I love this stickler so much, not just because he's a bisexual. No. Him and Mondo are a beautiful bromance, I will not lie. But I just love his wholesome personality and his extroverted nature. Like, he's a go-getter, and I've always been a sucker for go-getter, optimistic, extroverted dudes. So if this guy ever existed in real life, I would date him. I would date him in a heartbeat. But alas, he totally doesn't. Not in my books, at least. So for him, I wanted a summer vibe. I looked at his outfit for Danganronpa S and immediately hated it. Like, don't get me wrong, this man's packing, but he's packing a little too much if you know what I mean. So I immediately changed that god-awful Speedo he's rocking to the most colorful and vibrant pair of swim trunks I could find to really go with the whole, I'm trying to be hip with the kids, which is definitely something he tried to pull. As for like the whole tube that he's got around his hips, I wanted something also that says, I'm cool with the young kids, trust me. It's also the lifeguard look. I really wanted a little bit more of a lifeguard look with it while still being hip with the kids. So I added those reds, those whites, those yellows, and those oranges, baby, with hints of blue. And of course, you can't forget the big goopy swim goggles on top of his head, because he totally, in my opinion, can't swim that good. As for the partner he got one of the newer villagers that came out, Adi. I was super pumped when I saw that he got Adi, and also to see his birthday too. But that's for a personal reason. So for Adi, she already has that tropical vibe to her. I did not change a thing about her. So I totally see these two hitting up the beach, being the biased bros on the block. Here we go with Kiyotaka Ishimaru and Adi. Now for the final canon character I decided to do for Trigger Happy Havoc. I of course had to do one of the Sisters of Despair, but of course everyone's going to expect me to pick Junko. It's of course going to be Junko. Everyone wants Junko. So I said, screw it, I'm going to do Mukuro Ikosaba. I actually really like how they do her character and the Danganronpa What If series. So I essentially took what I could out of that, as well as the bits and pieces of her character you get in Danganronpa S, and took it and ran. I of course wanted something a more cozy vibe for her, so I went with the whole sippin' hot chucky cause I'm thirsty kind of look. And of course wanting to listen to cute stories from the villager she got partnered with. I looked at her birthday and Junko's birthday because they're twins, and was scared that they got Christmas Eve, which is Jingle. They got the first NPC. Congratulations. Good job, sister. So I'm sitting here thinking, why? Why? Why the women of despair get the most wholesome, joy-inducing Animal Crossing NPC? Oh god, the irony is pungent. So I looked through it. I'm thinking, wow, I gotta make this cozier. I made her have the little smile that you see in more stoic characters. I gave her big comfy Christmas sweater. I gave her the cute little headbands I see at Dollar Tree with the little reindeer ears and little horns. I gave her that with her hot chucky. And then of course big comfy slippers, and finished her up sitting on a stool, listening to stories from Santa. Santa, I did not change a thing about him. He is too pure for this world for me to change. He's a beautiful little baby. I want to hug him. I love him. And I see him looking at her and going, nicest girl, ooh woo, nice girl. So, of course, to end off the canon characters for Trigger Happy Havoc, we have Mukuro Ikusaba and Jingle. And finally, I decided to add my own personal touch and bring in one of my Danganronpa OCs. This is the one my boyfriend really liked, so here you go, you could be in Trigger Happy Havoc, I don't mind. His OC's name is Daisuke Yuki, and he is the super high school level snowboarder. Of course, that very snowy, very wintry vibe that you'd usually see in there. And of course, I kept his outfit kind of the same to how I originally concepted him, which was like 2 years ago. Oh dear lord, I need to redraw him. He looks like garbage. So I wanted a more laid-back, chill pose because he's supposed to be the whole cool guy that's very chill. Not the whole I'm gonna get high with you chill, but just chill. Like the cool, all-around boy next door kind of look. And then the villager he got was, Paolo. Yay! I'm actually very glad I picked Daisuke and not the other Danganronpa character that actually shares a birthday with him. Daisuke, fun fact, has the same birthday as Byakuya Togami. I did not realize that when I was picking Dai's birthday. I was just thinking, Hihi Cinco de Mayo, let's have fun with this. And then I found out Byakuya was born that day, and I'm thinking, oh, I really want an excuse not to do Byakuya? So congratulations, I'm going to throw my OC in there because I hate him, and I don't want to draw him, especially with Paolo. For Paolo, I gave him a more wintry outfit and just went along with it. Really added those purples, those blacks to really pop out the pinks better that are seen in his design, and his angry yet determined eyebrows. So, with that out of the way, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it because now we're done. These are all the characters I decided to do for Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. I hope you're not weirded out by my selections. And so the next video I do will be on the characters I chose for Goodbye Despair. And if you've seen my Instagram or my TikTok to some variety, hell, even my Amino, you probably have seen a couple of these babies already because they're the first guys I posted. I'll be redoing a few of them to mark my bases. So thank you for watching, and I am sorry about the audio quality for this video. I know it's bad. This is my first time working Audacity and stuff like this, and if you like what you see, you could slap that little thumbs up button down there and hit the subscribble. I really would appreciate it. I have plans to do more series like this, as well as casual speed paints, story times, you know, the whole kit and caboodle that every artist does on here, as well as a few live streams as a PNG tuber. So, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye!